So, of course, I made a short about this already, but this had to be a broader topic that I read in a video. So, I think this is pretty messed up that this is already happening in one state. Um, Last I knew, this is so far only happening in Utah. Okay, so what is the digital curfew in the U.S. and how? What the hell? Okay, okay. And how will it curb underage social media use? Okay, so like I said in the short, um, back in my day, you could just put child blocks on the computer, and so you could only do certain searches on the computer, and so you couldn't look up like anything with tits or something, anything sexual like that. Um, that's the first thing I tried to do when I was younger. Like no one had to teach me to do that. Like that's just the thing you're gonna do. Unfortunately, for better or worse, I guess. But I don't know why this isn't something we train parents to do to kids. This would be so much better than a whole state or eventual states trying to crack down on your child and how you raise them. This is kind of scary. Okay, social media has changed the lives of more than one generation with the ability to connect with people from all over the world, uh, meet people you thought you would never meet, or create a like minded community were the initial premises of networks like Facebook. Then came Twitter, a platform that has grown by leaps and bounds to become the means by which the population is informed. And then Instagram or TikTok, the newest ones, relatively speaking. So if this, so I feel like this should have mentioned MySpace. Like this is already feeling like this is omitting or almost misinformation in terms of the foundation of t- technology and social media. Anyways, I won't get that far and deep into that fucking uh, thought process. Okay. In particular, the last two social media platforms have been criticized, TikTok especially, for the damage and mental health they are causing, especially to minors. Their algorithms and the amount of time minors spend on the app have turned the problem into a political one. These are the two anti-social media laws. The state of Utah in the United States has become ground zero in the battle against social media. As a way to curb them, last Thursday, two laws were signed that would limit the use of social networks by minors, calling them a, quote, digital curfew. These are the two laws call for social media to be regulated so that they do not use algorithms or elements that can cause addiction to their use. So it's true that uh, the internet can have addictive qualities to them for anyone. Anything can be an addiction. Um, and for the most part, again, like I mentioned, there was the ability to do this without the state controlling what your children are doing. Parents should have had the ability up to this point to still have access to doing this. And in my opinion, this has nothing to do with protecting the children. This is like um, in another video I'll get to. It really had something to do with just like an anti-trans bent to it. So I can see this being like as children become more politically aware and connected with each other, it's like an anti-revolution strategy against them or something. Now, that's that could be too deep for where this is headed, but yeah. Okay. As the way to curb them, last Thursday were signed that would limit the use of social networks by the minors, calling them digital. Okay. Uh, Spencer Cox, governor of Utah, signed the two laws last Thursday. One of them includes restrictions whereby minors will not be able to log into their accounts between uh, 2020, 30, and 6:30. If they do, they'll have to be authorized by their parents or guardians, banning addictive algorithms and a time restriction. Minors will also be prohibited from creating a social account without prior authorization from the parents, as reported by The Hill. Uh, these regulations will not take effect until 2024, but Cox acknowledged that this time will be used to refine their a pair of laws. quote, Utah is leading the way in holding social media companies accountable, and we're not letting up anytime soon, end quote, Governor Cox wrote on Twitter. The second law prohibits these companies from using, quote, designs or features that cause addiction among minors. According to a survey by Common Sense Media in 2016, half of the U.S. 12-year-olds had at least one social media account. So I'm going to be fair, this freaks me out just as much as lately I've seen like 8-year-olds drinking decaf coffee. Like, honestly, that's just insane. Like, I started smoking weed at 18, and this is just in terms of addiction and like things that children shouldn't have too much access to, like the internet. My husband, he started smoking weed at 13, so things that people are allowed to do versus their development versus what they should be allowed to do, it's just this weird, like, we've never had it right. It's just weird. Okay. In the 8 to 12 age group, 1 in 4 had an active profile on social media. Okay, so obviously I'm late to the party by saying this, but it's a shame that this is considered a national crisis that you can't get online. Like, but considering this is a fake think of the children thing, there is something greater behind the scenes. I don't know what it is, but we'll see. Alright, guys.